Okay, so my lips look funny because they are chapped. Kind of look like I have lipstick on, but unless you look real close and you see that chappedness, real attractive, just like my nose. Okay. Anyhow, totally not what I want to talk to you about. Not at all. So today I was going to mention my short little cute video with my dad. At least I put a video up, right? Done better than perfect. Anyhow, I was headed to Michigan today. I had a goal to go to Michigan to see a friend that I haven't seen in 3 years. And this friend I knew like more than 10 years ago. And I knew her in Korea and I knew her in the Philippines. And it's just kind of cool when God does that. But dun, 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 a really bad storm went through. And I'm headed off to drive. And I look up the instructions and all three say high winds are coming. Well, I feel like this premonition, kind of feeling like I feel a little bit of a check in my spirit. And I'm like, oh, but I could still go. But I've got this little Prius and it's going to go and because, I mean, maybe a nice sturdy truck could stand those winds, but a little Prius, I don't know. Well, anyhow, I get a text from my mom. It's calling Adrian, and I get this text from my mom. And that was like, hey, be careful. Winds, 70 to 100 people died in a storm. And then my next one is Adrian tells me that he doesn't have peace. So I'm like, yeah, probably shouldn't go. Total bummer, right? So my reason for mentioning this is because sometimes in life we have a plan. Sometimes we think we know the direction we're going to go, and it is a good plan. And I was super excited about it. But due to events, and I probably could have plowed through, totally might have made it really thing, our plans get changed and they get switched, and it's totally not what we would have wanted. I mean, that's how I feel a lot about life. Okay, so right now I live with this family and they are wonderful. I mean, I get to cuddle with children and I don't have any children. So it's nice to be able to enjoy somebody else's children and have them talk to me in the morning and tell me all kinds of things and make fun of me, and I don't know. But it's a blessing because I love children and I don't have any of my own. And I never saw myself living in Indiana. That was not a goal at all, in the least. I came back from the Philippines with the goal to become a life coach and to go back to the Philippines and be self-sufficient based off of my coaching thing. And I could justify it because if people paid me overseas to coach, then they were paying for me to be a missionary. So even if it wasn't perfect, it's like, hey, in exchange for some of my time, you get to help fund me being a missionary so that I can give away more of my time to where I'm called to be. Because I didn't want to be a missionary who asked for support. Nope. I did not. I don't love the newsletters. I've totally done them before. And I'm just like, God, if it's your will, it's your bill. And I've been really blessed that many times. But yeah, why am I mentioning about me living in the family? So my goal was to become a life coach, to be able to go back to the Philippines and to come back and to the Philippines, self-sufficient. COVID happened, and I didn't leave the US. I didn't find my niche. I didn't find where I fit. I tried out churches and it's good, but oh man, at the end of the day, I just feel like a Fruit Loop and a bowl of Cheerios. And you know, people who love vibrant colors, like, Fruit Loops are pretty, but if you are a Cheerio, Fruit Loops are kind of like weird, strange. And that's how I felt. I felt living in this area like I was strange and like I was weird and I'm too much. And I mean, maybe I'm a little too much at times, maybe, but it's really easy to feel like my personality is too much because And my plans got detoured. So here I am still like, God, where can I be the most effective ministry-wise? Where can I do what you called me to do? And some of the people that are in my life, they're doers and they're go-getters. And so it's like, God, where have you called me to be? I'm not hearing you. Doesn't really work for them. I mean, I'm being a little funny about it, but there's some truth in it. They're just doing what the word says, and that's awesome. But I'm like, I do have things that God's placed in my heart for me to do, and they're kind of hidden things. Well, I mean, doing a YouTube channel isn't necessarily hidden. In fact, if I have to post it somewhere, it's really not hidden. Yeah, not at all. But there's things that God's asked me to do that isn't so like glorious, or like me having a position in a church, or the ring light. Ooh, it's like annoying me. But there's things that sometimes he puts inside of us for us to do, and it's not very great. And you can feel like, but God, I had my plan. Why does there have to be wind? And God, I was going to go back and do this. Why isn't it what you want for me anymore? And I don't want to say that it sucks. There's a little bit of but if I hadn't, I wouldn't get to, at least in this season, live with a family that I can learn health stuff from. I wouldn't be able to live close enough to my parents that I could go hang out with them, but not live with them. Because like, I always live with my parents when I'm nearby them, because most of the time I am hours from them, and I might see them once or twice a year. I have many years where I didn't see my parents but once a year. And I have, when I was in the Philippines, where I didn't see them for 1.5 years. And when I lived in Wisconsin, I saw them like 2, maybe 3 times in a year. So while I lived with them when I lived here, like I barely saw them when I didn't live here, and it was just phone conversations. So being able to just pop over and, make food and eat food together is actually kind of a cool deal that I never like considered, because I was always considering bigger, better, grander. I mean, mine was not this one, but it was like, oh, look, I'm now in this country. Oh, look, now I'm in this country. Oh, now I'm road tripping. And now I'm stuck in mid-America trying to figure my life out, and I'm close to 40. So yeah, sometimes life is kind of like that. We think we got it all figured out, and we got a plan, or we got our own ideas, and then we check the forecast and we realize, it might not be optimal to go now. But we're like, I can still go, but we feel that check. So we call somebody, and confirmation comes that maybe our plan isn't really the right plan, or it's not the right timing. And so maybe it's not the right timing for me to go to another country, or go do things that other people think I should do, or go be actively involved in a ministry position. It's just kind of like my time to do what I know I need to do. And if it's just stay at home so I can wait out the storm, well, sometimes in life it doesn't turn out quite like you expect, but it doesn't mean God doesn't have something in store. So